Hello and welcome to CNR Extra on City TV. My name is Nanatufo Boateng. Coming up. Majority Leader and MP for Suame, Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu, escapes attack by residents who are angry that their road infrastructure still remains deplorable.
In fact, Papa na mfani ize yedu ase ho no ho na wo mu tu nsuo hia no ensuo a wo matu abo papa ne nem.
Trades Union Congress TUC serves a notice that it will resist any prescriptions of the International Monetary Fund IMF that will negatively affect or impact on labor recruitment and welfare. Drivers who ply Dom Kitase stretch leading to the Ashesi University hopeful the deplorable road will be fixed following the awarding of the road contract to a local contractor.
With the dust, it's too much. We can't stand it. And using car here with your tie, all the time you get problem with your tie. The shocks, ball joints, the dust will enter.
And later, Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Korte hints of plans by the government to ensure that GA teachers who have been posted to other regions are transferred back to the capital by the next academic year.
Minister of Education, Enna Sanigba, ni ehamina shiwo, efio miake create desk kopo, ni gadangbe teachers, ni akamete manse na mention, ni other regions. Well,
before we go into our first story, let me introduce to you Philip Nilate of the City Newsroom, whom together with myself will be bringing you the various stories. Good morning, Philip.
Good morning, Anatufo.
I trust you're doing well.
I'm doing great, and you?
Oh, I'm well, well. Awesome. Well, remember that the show is interactive, and so we'd like to hear from you via the WhatsApp number 055-058-5832. Send in your comments, your thoughts, and your contributions. In our first story, the Member of Parliament for Suame, who happens to be the majority leader, Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu, escaped an attack from residents and, of course, workers around the Suame magazine area. Let's bring you the details of that incident, and then we can have a conversation on it.
Now we start off from the Ashanti region, where the early intervention of the police prevented an attack by some residents and workers at the Suame magazine on Ghana's majority leader in parliament, Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu, from escalating after he attempted to address the residents in the area.
Now, following the resumption of work on the Suame Maakro stretch, after a series of demonstrations by residents, the Member of Parliament for the area decided to inspect construction works on the stretch and then address residents, but was accosted by some angry residents who claimed he has failed to address their concerns over the years.
Now, the angry residents threw various implements at him as he was later whisked away by the police. There is more in the following report by City News' Bureau Chief for the Middle Belt, Edward Opomafo.
The residents last week organized a demonstration and called on authorities to ensure work resumes on the Suame Maakro stretch. The inhabitants in recent times have had a number of protests to impress on authorities to resume work on the road. After last Thursday's demonstration by the inhabitants in the area over the poor nature of a portion of the road, work has now resumed. It is in view of this that a Member of Parliament for Suame, Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu, decided to visit the area and wanted to address the residents on the project. The residents did not receive this well and then started hooting at the MP and the MCE and threw various items at them. Some residents in the area have been speaking to City News on why they attacked their member of parliament.
Wojananum, a janchiremu, Jananum, fine, Oviene, or see, and Wafa camera dinner chideba. Also, so who he want has say, but a near ma, Kyei-Mensah Bonsu, I was here, Sano. It's here, Tia say, Nanny, who so I bet you send a boys in a chassis. Away, Woman say my way, away, Yentia, Tino, no crown, or drew post office in a sudden, I know your dinner. Now I say. Oya de ba de wo jai wo sign it you know one sign it and ye de call ya kwase wonti ase wo de sa breakdown for mu de in fact papa na amfa na ize ye duru ase ho no ho na wo mu tu nsuo hia no ensu a wo mato abo papa ne ne no nya nsu keto obu hwie ye de kwa share dan bi bunku owura magazine inside wo na wo hwe di pana na epu ba na ba be hia no ne de we mu si toto ne ma okwan ni mu na on TV ngra oti na o say ye fa de ne kokko hye dan bi mu e wo commercial bank bi wo ase ho ne ye de ne kokko hye e dan bi mu ho na e ho no kra no ensuo pa no o mu tuwra ho no na nya nsu ke 20 na afa ne mintimi nyina ho na e ya mare ho na se de wase aye din na ho kra sa aye mmobo na me di free wa me de ba adwuma but ye sre wo mo o mo ma ne ma mra fom
akwani ti no ba na ma se so ka se oba be hwe ayi omo etu onwo aso akohwe akodi nkomo wa ase etu okoye program no so mpawie a o si abasra ko no e no say no ofa fom no wa hwe se na kwan so ye de esitie ti wa ba be du takwa e no mo sha se tu su ade buru no se aniti ya omo ya be tu kwa no a o hwe no mo ye kwa no no mo di so la buru amana ko ya ni se obo no ga no fa so la bo wa ya
The member of parliament was locked in a room for hours to prevent the angry residents from attacking him. The leader of the traders, who doubles as the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, Anthony Opon, apologized to the member of parliament and the municipal chief executive for the area following the attack. After escaping the attack from the irate youth, the member of parliament for the area, Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu, addressed the media where he assured that efforts are being put in place to complete work on the road as early as possible.
I'm the face of government. So if they are really angry that it's been a while since the scraping of the surface and dust is killing them, certainly when they see any government official, they will vent their spleen on the person. So I'm not worried. I need to explain to them. Maybe when the difficulty happened, we should have had an avenue to have engaged them earlier. If we had engaged them earlier, I believe this wouldn't have happened. The contractor started work. Unfortunately, midway, he experienced acute shortage of bitumen. And having waited for about 2 weeks, he had to undertake to go to La Côte d'Ivoire to procure bitumen in order to be able to complete the works that he has started. We've spoken to the contractor who has, as I said, been able to procure the bitumen, and within the next couple of days is coming to complete what he has started. That is the reshaping of the road and the application of another overlay of asphalt. So in the next 3 days, the hope is that we'll begin applying the asphalt, and hopefully, let's say the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you should be able to finish with it.
As construction works have resumed on this stretch, the residents and other persons who work within this area are calling on authorities to ensure that work is completed as early as possible. For City News, I'm Edward Oponmafo, Suame.
Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it looks as though we're going to be seeing more of such incidents, because we've seen a number of youth groups in the Ashanti region raise concern, agitate, lament that really the region has been neglected when it comes to development. And you cannot take away the contribution of the Ashanti region to the NPP winning power.
And that is the home actually for the NPP.
Exactly.
The residents there are tired. they've had enough. I'm not supporting whatever they did.
Clearly,
but
we do not support violence.
Yes,
but
from all indications, they are tired. Having been in power for 6 years, they expect that at least you give them some good roads in the in that area. So for what they are putting out there is that you don't come and give promises and we don't see anything on the road. We don't want shaping, then they come, they grade, they do everything, and the road is not completed. And to be frank with you, he's not the only government official who has suffered this. This happened also at Agape, where the municipal chief executive for Gas Central, he was also hooted at when he came there to also inspect the Agape Road when the demonstrators there were fumed. They also happened at Gan West on the Pokwase Maira stretch. My friend Clement Wilkinson came there and he was hooted at and he had to leave. So the residents or people are tired. What we are asking for is fix the roads. We wouldn't want to say that we are paying money or the taxpayer is giving out money and the roads aren't fixed. We know there are challenges, but at least the little that can be done should be done so that people will have more trouble roads. And with this particular story we saw, the member of parliament himself, I'm sure he was amazed at the attitude of or the conduct of the workers of Suame Magazine. And this is to send a signal to every government official that now people cannot be taken for granted again. They've moved out of their situation or out of their confined zones or their zones where they will think that, okay, he's a politician, he's going to tell us the truth or he's going to say this and the road is going to be fixed. But now let the promises and whatever you are telling us, let it materialize. Let's be some form of reality in whatever you are communicating. I think the Ministry of Roads and Highways also has to come out with clearly speak about this and if how soon
it's
the
not
project
necessarily
will
the
be
MP's
will be
job
fixed.
or work to fix the road.
And you know the MP is just expected to lobby. So if you go campaigning and you tell us that I'll come and fix your roads for you, and you don't fix the roads, then and you saw the lady who was interviewed. He said that you come and speak all the big English and all that.
Clearly, that's not what they want to hear.
Fix
but then
the
there's
road.
an even bigger problem looming because you see, if this Suame area, this protest was on the Suame to the Maakro Highway. There's supposed to be a construction of an interchange. This will be the second 40-year interchange in the country. And that is even going to spell more problems for the MP of the area. This construction, we understand, is supposed to start somewhere in October of this year. And I mean, if the work starts and it does not progress at a rate satisfactory to these people, residents, because mind you, they do business in this area. That's where magazine is. It's like the
business hub, yeah.
Yeah, that was so kind of Kumasi. So really, they would want work to be done in a speedy manner, finished, ease traffic congestion so they can go about their daily lives, their daily activities.
Boost their businesses as well, because you can't be having the construction of the road or the interchange hampering their operations. And they also said the place is too dusty to the extent that they can't even stand there to ply their trade or do their business. So I think that much attention has to be paid on this. And wherever roads are that needs to be fixed, must be fixed. I think so.
All right, let's move on to our next story. And the Trades Union Congress, TUC, seems to really be bringing some pressure to bear on the government, especially as the government is now in engagement with the IMF. Let's bring you some demands being made by the TUC, and then we can have a chat on it.
The Trades Union Congress says the building of the National Cathedral is needless in times like these. The union also says it will resist any IMF-tailored solution which will inflict what they call economic hardship on public sector workers. The union has furthermore called for a review of Ghana's pension regime to ensure equity for all public sector workers. City News' Husko Judgment has more in this report.
The Trades Union Congress was grateful for the 15% cost of living allowance paid to public sector workers. Though thankful, the union was keen on the outcome of the ongoing negotiations with the IMF. Ghana is currently seeking an IMF bailout to support the country's economy. It is the second time in the past 3 years and 17th since independence in 1957 that Ghana has turned to the IMF for help. The Secretary General of the Trades Union Congress, Dr. Yauba, said any IMF proposed solution which would neglect the plight of public sector workers would be rejected.
IMF programs will not deal with these fundamental structural issues. IMF programs, you know what they do? They only prepare the country for another IMF program. That is why you go for 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 18. So this 18th program is going to prepare Ghana for a 19th program. And the 19th one will prepare Ghana for the 20th. I know why it is like that, so that IMF will be in business. Otherwise, they have no business. Now, we know very well that the 18th program that is being negotiated will not be different. But I want to assure you and all Ghanaians that what will be different this time is that TUC will lead the working people of Ghana to resist any attempts to impose hardships on workers and their families and the Ghanaian population. The content of the program will not be different, but the resistance from the people of Ghana will make it different.
The union described the building of the National Cathedral as needless and called on the IMF to ask the government to abandon the project.
Yes, if social interventions will go on, SHS, free SHS and so on, okay, fine. We'll see whether the cathedral will also receive. You see, if you make a cathedral priority of priorities, there is something wrong with it. You see what I mean? So we will see if we are in these hard times and cathedrals will be built when children cannot get their free meals, when our SHS students cannot get food to eat, food in Ghana, in this country called Ghana, our children in school cannot get food. There's something wrong, and you are building cathedral. So we'll see if the IMF will allow those cathedral things to go on. How can you be building museum, Bible museums, when children cannot get food to eat? God doesn't like that. I don't think God will approve that. I really don't think so.
The union also touched on the current state of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust. It had reservations about the current structure and called for a review that will be fair to all work sets.
We are demanding the total overhaul of pension system in Ghana to be fair. The current system is unfair to many workers. A few privileged individuals are being paid huge sums of money from the Smith scheme every month at the expense of ordinary workers who are contributing to the scheme from their meager salaries. You can't believe that one person earns 140,000 every month from a scheme which pays 300 Ghana cedis for people. And so the essence of Social Security and National Insurance is completely gone. What is Social Security about a scheme which pays 300 Ghana cedis? And I can tell you, if it were not the board which actually even push it further to 300, there will be some people who are earning 100 Ghana cedis or 150. There's somebody on the same scheme is earning 140,000. This does not exist anywhere. If it were an occupational scheme, it may be understandable. But on the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, we should change it.
Commenting on the current review of the single-spine salary structure for public sector workers, the Secretary General of the Trades Union Congress, Dr. Yauba, indicated that there were still disparities in the pay policy considering the emoluments of Article 71 office holders.
We will not allow the class system in pay administration in favor of Article 71 office holders to continue. It must end now. Salary increase is yet to come. Yes. And we are going to ensure that this government, whether IMF or no IMF, a decent increase is given to workers of Ghana. And that is why we are going to ensure that this inequity between Article 71 and public sector workers is completely eradicated. And when I say it, please write it somewhere. we will not continue this way forever. You are talking about constitution. Who made the constitution? So please, we have made it so, and so we should change it. Because Article 71, what makes them better than us? What the question I ask is, are they more productive than us? No. What makes MPs more productive than us? Yes. But we are also doing our part, and that should be recognized. And the only way you can recognize the output and the effort being made by public sector workers is to make sure that their salaries reflect what they are doing.
The Trades Union Congress and the government will soon begin negotiations of salaries for public sector workers. Now, the TUC Secretary General says it will push for what it describes as better working conditions for the Ghanaian public sector worker. I am Kojo Atman reporting for City News.
TUC boss, they're talking tough. I mean, we've all seen the week that we've come out from and how organized labor has gone into negotiations with government over the cost of living allowance. And we also know the resistance or the opposition the TUC mounted against government going to the IMF. Yeah. Now government is there and TUC is really talking tough.
Well, the fear is that when government goes into IMF or goes for the IMF program, certainly there's going to be cuts of jobs or employment,
public sector employment.
Yeah, so the employment wouldn't be there like it happened in the previous administration, the NDC administration.
But you see, you can understand Dr. Yauba if he's talking this way, because one of the conditions for TUC, organized labor, accepting the 4% and the 7% increase in public sector wages was that government will not declare redundancy in employment.
Exactly. But now that we are going in for the IMF program, we don't know the conditionalities, let's put it that way, whatever is going to come out of it, because we are not there yet to say that people want employment, and when we go in for the IMF program, there is going to be freeze on jobs, and nurses who are supposed to be posted wouldn't be posted, teachers who are supposed to be posted cannot be posted, people who are also in the public sector will be finding issues here and there. But the president over the weekend, when they had a delegates conference, noted that he's hopeful that they will negotiate a good deal for Ghana. So we are hoping and praying that things will go well. But like they've indicated, TUC has indicated, government should be very much concerned about the employment or whatever will affect the public sector worker. And when Bernard interviewed the IMF country representative, Dr. Albert Tunamama, he said that the free senior high school policy, which again people are also talking about, wouldn't be scrapped off, and that they are going to look at how best they can retweak that particular policy. So it tells you that there are a lot of concerns and a lot of talks going in there to come out with better conditions or better deals for the country. So we are just hoping and praying that things.
I mean, these concerns are expected because when you go, you have your own internal programs running already, and now you're going to the IMF for support. Really, what the IMF is bringing to you is some fiscal discipline, some stability. But that notwithstanding, there will be some supervision to ensure that really all this comes out to play. Now, you mentioned Dr. Albert Tunamama, and he's made it clear that really the fact that you've come to the IMF doesn't guarantee that you are getting whatever it is you are requesting. Your request will be subject to the IMF's internal policies. Yes. It should meet certain policies of the IMF. Last time we went there was a freeze on employment, public sector.
And that also brought in pressure on the private sector employment as well, because you have a number of people rushing in to the private sector to get employment, and that also increased the unemployment rate in this country, where a lot of people went in for demonstrations, people were asking for salaries and a lot. So we are just hoping and praying that what the TUC has said, their concerns will be heeded to, and also government will negotiate a good deal for Ghana, like the president has said, which he indicated over the weekend.
Well, we'll wait to see if they'll be able to walk their talk, because actually they're threatening to lead public sector workers in a protest or demonstration if such conditionalities should come out of
and doesn't favor them.
And it doesn't favor them. Well, let us know what you think, what your comments are. Send us a WhatsApp message on 0550 585832. Use the hashtag CNR Extra on social media, on Facebook, CTTV, and of course on Twitter or Instagram at CTTVGH. You're watching CNR Extra on CTTV. Still ahead. Drivers who plied Dom Kitasi stretch hopeful the deplorable road will be fixed following the awarding of the road contract to Fair Sky Limited. We'll bring you the details shortly. Please stay.
Good Day energy drink. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to your health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine.
This advert is FDA approved.
It's Central Expo 2022. The Central Region Coordinating Council, in collaboration with Central Region Development Commission, invites you to Regional Trade, Tourism and Investment Fair dubbed Central Expo 2022 at Adisador College Park, Cape Coast from Saturday 23rd July to Saturday 30th July from 8 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. daily. Theme: promoting trade, tourism and investments in the Central Region, challenges, prospects and solutions. There will be job and business opportunities, partnerships and networking in the Central Region and more. All 22 districts in the region, as well as exhibitors from the diaspora and SMEs, will showcase their goods. There will also be a 2-day business forum to bring together creative ideas, entrepreneurs, investors and corporate bodies. Other activities include entertainment, food bazaar, dancing, raffle draws, mystery shoppers and more. Our special guest of honor is His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana. For more information, contact us at 020-815-7525, 020-815-9260 and 024-3428-563 or 020-9948-159. It's Central Expo 2022.
Welcome back. You're watching CNR Extra on CTTV. My name is Nanatu Fuopuate and I'm here with Philip Nilate of the City Newsroom. Let's move into our next story. And of course, the Dom Kitasi Road project has been awarded on contract and work is expected to begin soon. Let's get the details in this report.
Now, drivers who ply the Dom Kitasi stretch are hoping the deplorable road will be fixed following the awarding of the road contract to the First Sky Limited. Now, according to them, the project must not be abandoned in the middle of the construction like previous contractors have done. City News' Philip Nilate has more in the following report.
This road is a 23-kilometer road which spans from Domi through Brekusu to Kitasi. It's been in a very deplorable state for a very long time. On the City Newsroom, we are looking at the impact of the road on motorists. I will engage the motorists and ask them what exactly their concerns are concerning the bad nature of this road.
It's a bad distance. It's very, very bad. Since 10 years ago, I've been working on this road, and the road is very bad up to today. They will just come and reshape it up to today. They are not doing anything about it. And we have complained for long. And now I heard the Minister of Road, in agreement with Kuwait government, sign a contract that they will start this month. So we are hoping to see whether they will fix it. I'm using this very bit. Okay. And this is why I work. About 54 weeks ago, I spent over 8,000 on it.
8,000?
Yes. 54 weeks ago. That's 1 year, 2 weeks or so, yeah. I spent over 8,000 on this car.
8,000 doing what?
Maintenance, shocks, a whole lot of things. The same applies to other drivers too. Sometimes you go to shop 2 weeks, a week 2 times or 3 times, and you can be moving on the road, and you see a stone cut your tire into 2, and it cannot be fixed again. You have to buy another one. Yes, that's what we have been going through. Expectation of the driver is that we need a quota, not just reshipping, those kind of things, like former things. We need a quota. Because at times they will just come and reship it and leave it for so many months. Like last 3 months, they don't do anything about it. And you know, it started raining from May. So it made the road bad. You can't do anything about it. So our expectation is that let the contractor fix the road proper, well, and quota it.
Maintenance, and then our engine, because of the dust, very soon then your engine's off. You have to get another engine. These are the challenges that we are facing. And you also fall sick, yeah, because of the dust. So these are the challenges that we are facing. But now that we heard that they have given it to a contract, we pray that they will do and do it well, so that it will last. And some of the car owners, if they give you a car, and the moment that they hear or they saw the car on Brekusu Road, then they take their car.
With the condition of the road, it's too bad. Me myself driving on the road from Kwabenya to here, every month I'll get code. Every month with the dust, it's too much. We can't stand it. And using car here with your tire, all the time you get problem with your tire. The shocks, ball joints, the dust will enter into the car. It's hell. That's why we are praying for them to finish. They said they are coming to start the road. They should finish and finish well. Not that they will come and just grade it and leave it and go away. We are praying with them. They should finish and finish well. That is our wish.
This road has been like this for how long?
Oh, so many years. Let's say 16, 15 years ago.
Nothing has been done about it.
No. They only come and then grade it, and then they will go away.
Our shocks, you need to be changing your shocks. Aside that, you need to be buying new tires. One time, one of the tire cut deep. The stone cut deep into our tire, and we have to change the tire. It's been happening each and every time. And when you speak to the authority, they keep on telling you, in June we'll do it. We don't know which June they'll finish this road. Honorable Obiamwa promised us last year that by June they'll do this road. It's more than a year now. No one has come
and
to
now
this.
They've awarded the contract to First Sky, and the contractor is on site.
They keep on saying that, but we've not seen anyone doing this road.
He's up there. What would you like to see from the contractor this time around?
We want to see action. We want to see them on the road, starting with the gutters. Then they'll come and tar the road. That's what we want to see. So normally what they do is that they'll come and grade the road when it's getting to elections. Then after that, then they'll go back. They go to sleep. They'll tell us that they've awarded the contract to so and so. As you also mentioned a name of a contractor. Last year they mentioned a different contractor. Today we are telling me of a contractor. Now what's happening is that they'll tell you this so and so contractor is coming. The following year they'll come and tell you another contractor is coming. So we don't know which contractor is doing this job. I appeal to the people that you should talk to the Minister of Road. If he has awarded the contract, truly he should come. Let's see. And let them start the gutters first. Look at this side of the road too. It's so bad. It's terrible. And because of that, a lot of people don't want to come here. We don't get any developmental projects. It's like we are cut off.
Students and management of the Ashesi University, which is along the Dom Ketasi Road, bear the brunt of the deplorable nature of the 23-kilometer stretch. I'm here at the institution to speak to the Director of Communications, Ebenezer Bachman, to tell me the impact the bad nature of the road is having on them.
The difficulty has been, all our employees, faculty, staff, everyone that works here commutes on this road to come to Ashesi. And I think generally trying to work, as an institution, teaching students, faculty and staff commuting both ways can be really, I think, draining. But I think more critically, it's made it really hard to engage with the world outside of Ashesi. Because if you're trying to invite, resource people, experts, other academics to come share knowledge, work with us, partner, it's really hard for people to make the journey up to Ashesi. And so we've been grappling with that over the last decade or so, and learning that the road is being prioritized as a project to be finished over the next 24 months. I think most of us are really looking forward to it. It's been a conversation that's been happening for several years. We've had a few contractors who have started and have been unable to finish. But I think we are hopeful that this time the commitment will be much more firm. I think we've seen the contractor already begin some work, and we're hoping that it's going to be seen through.
The Minister of Roads and Highways, Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu, on July 6, 2022, signed a contract with First Sky Limited, a local construction company in Accra, to rehabilitate the 23-kilometer Dom Ketasi Road. Works are expected to fully begin in August 2022.
People who reside in communities along the Domi Ketasi Road and also motorists who ply on the stretch want the contractor to work within schedule in completing the deplorable road. For City News, my name is Philip Ni Latte.
$1.65 million to cover a 23-kilometer stretch that will start from around the Dom roundabout all the way to Ketasi to Pediasi. Some good news for residents of the area.
Very good news, because driving on that stretch is a daunting task, actually. Driving on that stretch, you should have a V8, a pickup. And even when we were driving on the road, using a pickup was very challenging. And imagine you using a saloon car, then you might as well, after descending the hill, crossing that particular stretch, go straight to the mechanic shop and just spend some money, because the stretch is very bad. But I think it's good news for the people who live in that particular community or communities along this particular stretch. And we know that First Sky will do a good job. And we are expecting that by the 24 months period that the project is supposed to take place, or is supposed to go or span, we are expecting that the project will be completed on schedule. As well, the drivers in that particular area are complaining a lot, because when I went there, you would not even see a vehicle that is a taxi. Almost all the vehicles they are using there for commercial purposes are private vehicles, because they keep saying that when they ply the stretch with their various cars, it doesn't keep long, then it breaks down. They have to take it to the mechanic shop and come up with another vehicle or use another vehicle on the stretch. One very important thing that I think that government should consider is for the students of the Ashesi University, because it's very important, because it's an academic institution. Government must pay very much attention to them. I've seen some of the students finding it very difficult going to school. And when I spoke to the Director of Communications, Ebenezer Bachman, he said that it's like a cutoff between the school and all the students and town, or even if they are bringing associate professors or external educators to come to the institution, they find it very difficult. So I think that the stretch should be completed. It's been there for a very long time. This actually isn't the first time we are filing a report on it. We filed several reports on it. So it should be fixed. And there's also an alternative road for Madina, Adenta area through to Ibri, and this stretch, when completed, is going to help for the Pediasi area, the Ibri area, and
so it will serve a much larger community.
So,
but some are raising concerns that really this was a campaign promise by Sarah Juasafo, and so government is only attending to a legacy project of the MP in-apps.
I think it should be done. Whether it's a campaign promise or not, I think that the people in that community deserve it better, and at least, if not for anybody at all, for the students of Ashesi University. You can tell how difficult it is trying to learn, and as well going to write an exams, and you have to apply on a very deplorable road. Your health-wise is not helping. Even it's not going to help you when you have to be comfortably seated in the vehicle. And maybe just do some revision before you get to the exams hall or the lecture hall. So I think that with the 24 months that the project has to be done, it should be completed on time, and we expect that First Sky Limited will do a good job, and we are expecting that at the end of the 24 months, the drivers will heave a sigh of relief.
Well, I am happy it's been awarded to a local contractor, First Sky Group, and hopefully they do a good job and stay within schedule, so they complete on time. Important. Because, I mean, the extensions would also mean extra cost and all that. Hopefully, they complete the work within schedule. But let's bring you some of the messages that we have received so far. This one says, these politicians are not trustworthy and very dishonest. The kind of wind blowing among youth concerning these politicians. If I were there, I would be worried. Babamu from Tamale Central says, until some of our MPs stop taking their constituents for granted, we shall continue to witness many of these instances. I'm sure this is in reference to the Suame story. Boshaba Amisti from Gosu Zongo says, now that the NPP national election is over, he's pleading with executives and members to come together to work hard as a team. This one says, good morning, fellow Ghanaians. We need a very big development in our country in terms of good roads, good hospital facilities, and many more. And he does some MPP politics in there as well, and sends regards to some MPP members as well. In as much as I condemn the attack on the MP, our leaders ought to tread cautiously because residents are getting impatient. And then this one from Emmanuel from Asinfos, who says the political class can't take TUC for granted any longer. We will also demand for Article 71 emoluments or totally scrap it for equity to prevail. Let us know what you also think. The number to send your comments or your messages via is 0550-585832. But stay with us on CNR Extra, still ahead. Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Korte hints of plans by the government to ensure that GA teachers who have been posted to other regions are transferred back to the capital by the next academic year. We have the details coming up shortly. Do stay.
Plus is a fully skimmed evaporated milk. Creamy Plus is available in a shop near you.
This message has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Department of Communication Studies. I can't believe I'm here.
10 years ago, I was here.
20 years ago, I was here.
About 30 years ago, I was here.
40 years ago, I was here.
I've been part of the 50 years of this great school.
I was here some.
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 I was here.
Yes, for 50 years, the UG's Department of Communication Studies has trained high-achieving communication professionals. It's time to celebrate our success. We invite alumni and partners to join us for the launch of the 50th anniversary celebration on 20th July, 10:30 a.m. sharp at the Center for African Wetlands, UG. Come, let's celebrate 50 years of excellence in communication scholarship and training by the Department of Communication Studies.
Welcome back. This is CNR Extra on City TV. Now, the Greater Accra Regional Minister has been suggesting or assuring of some move to sustain the teaching and learning of the Ga language. Let's watch this report.
The Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Korte has hinted of plans by the government to ensure that Ga teachers who have been posted to other regions are transferred back to the capital by the next academic year. Many people of Ga descent have expressed worry about the language going extinct due to the shortage of Ga teachers in most schools in Accra. But the regional minister says there is a conscious effort by government to address the situation.
For many, the Ga language is gradually facing extinction due to the shortage of teachers in the language in most schools in the Greater Accra region. Over the period, many of Ga descent have expressed concern about the situation. Speaking to journalists during the presentation of furniture to the Bavana Down Basic School in the Yawasu Central Municipality, the Member of Parliament for the area, who doubles as the Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Korte, says there is an ongoing discussion with the Education Ministry to transfer to the capital Ga teachers who have been posted to other regions in the country by the next academic year.
Leleng eji noko ni na gbafio ke hawo ake woga dangbe mantiasia mi keje adaka ba holangba efe ake ga ni chomo laji e ga mantiasia mi alo ga dangbe ena hewo nke Minister of Education ena sanigba ni ehami na shiwo efe mi ake create desk kopo ni gadangbe teachers ni akamete manse na mention ni other regions abomoden na gbala me fe keba kuna jala me awo school so ye gadangbe na mecha no na mention no watchu eni se chencho if you ma ga bi na ba gbelegbe kokoro ni ba wo ba na wo gadangbe teacher fu na akama wo school so ni amechoni.
In his interaction with stakeholders in the education sector and members of the assembly in his jurisdiction, he charged them to ensure the success of the Operation Clean Your Frontage program.
What you mean? Say chencho. Wabana waga nang miticha fu na kama wo.
In his interaction with stakeholders in the education sector and members of the assembly, success of the Operation Clean Your Front.
I think these are some genuine concerns being raised by the regional minister. Yes. Because if you move into the other regions, really the Ga language is not being taught
at all. And you see, learning and teaching of Ga language in the Greater Accra region has dwindled. Yeah. My niece, Daphne, I watched her terminal report, and in there, the small girl is studying Equiapim tree. And I asked, they said in her school, there isn't any Ga teacher. Right. But here lies the case. We're in the Greater Accra region. It shouldn't be taken away from us. I'm a Ga, so I will speak passionately about this.
It makes sense, because if there's a shortage of Ga teachers in the Greater Accra region, then that's some cause for concern.
So that means, like the Greater Accra regional minister said, that means the Ga teachers have been taken to other regions and they have to be brought back. Because the issue that was brought out...
Perhaps the thinking behind posting Ga teachers to other regions was to help the Ga language penetrates those regions. But I mean, there should be a proper assessment to see how that has worked so far. If not, bring back the teachers to the Greater Accra region,
to teach Ga,
where really there's an interest in the study of the Ga language the demand for Ga teachers, so that it works. I mean, both ways.
Because you wouldn't have the Greater Accra region and Ga will be ruled out completely. When I was in school, we studied Tree and Ga option.
I mean, you had the option of choosing Tree,
but now it looks like that has been phased out, and you don't have the Ga teachers and they're in there. So I think it's a step in the right direction that the Greater Accra Regional Minister is in some talks with the Education Minister and to come out with the Ga teachers so that they come to the Greater Accra region, so that culture and also the roots would not be missing. At least people coming,
because really I'm struggling to understand why we are having this challenge. I think that people should know the Ga language automatically, for which reason we are posting Ga teachers outside of the region. Or is it that the Ga teachers themselves are opting to go teach in other regions? I mean, I think, like I said earlier, there should be a proper assessment
of this.
And then, of course, we know the curricula or even
I also think that because the Tree language has taken center stage, because even when you meet someone for the very first time, you'll be saying hi or what's up.
You're more likely to speak Tree than
the Ga. Yeah. So for the Greater Accra Regional Minister to come up with this, I think it's a step in the right direction. He must get all the support that is needed, so that even if they aren't going to study or the Ga language is not going to be made the sole language in the various schools in the Greater Accra region, at least the option should be there. So either you are going for Tree or you are going for Ga, and that the children or the pupils, the students, should have options to choose, and not only studying one particular language, which ordinarily isn't in the Greater Accra region. So Ga must be in there somewhere.
I think I agree, because we shouldn't make it we don't live in a one language state.
Not at all.
Exactly. So I mean, if the other regions are not really accepting the Ga language, then the teachers should be brought back into the region, so that they teach the Ga as it's supposed to be taught properly, so that, I mean, our students, our children know the Ga language for what it is. I mean, the proper construction in the Ga language and all that, so that at least, I mean, learning your Ga language will actually whip up your interest in other Ga traditions, customs, and all that. Because if you understand the language, then when you step into some of these local areas, you understand what is going on, and you will be interested in knowing more.
Them, yes. Because with the festival, let's say Homo, for instance, you are not studying Ga language, you are not studying Ga in the various schools. How will you know that this festival, the Homo festival, is being done this way? This is what is involved. These are the people involved. So I think that the communication must go well. The negotiation or the stakeholder engagement with the ministry must be done as soon as possible, so that the teachers will be brought back. And he said that is going to be done by the next academic year. So we are hoping and praying that that will materialize.
All right, we wish him well, and we know this is not the first time he's mentioned it, so clearly he has an interest in it, and knowing who he is, he will follow through with it. Let me take one more message. This one is from Wellington I-Star from Abutiate T. And he says, First Sky is one of the best local road contractors Ghana can be proud of. We just hope funds are made available for him to execute that work as scheduled. We also hope so too, that the funds will be made available for work to be completed within time. But thank you so much, Philip Lee Latte. Always great to have you. And of course, thank you so much for your comments and your contributions. And thank you for watching. My name is Nana Tufuo Boateng. Many thanks for your time. Bye-bye.